Good morning everybody, and no babies yet this side by the looks of it. We saw the big herd of impala and thought we'd check them out, see if anybody has got any tiny babies with them. Apparently yesterday Texan did see one, but we've yet to catch one on camera. But unfortunately, just as we had the shot set up, the ram decided that he was going to chase everybody out of shot, so we quickly had to move. But I don't know why he was chasing the females. I mean, it's not as if they can, well, they'll be interested in mating at this stage. It looks like he is still trying to herd them. I don't know if you can see that. He's actually walking behind them. That's typical of when there is the breeding season. He will herd the females to the centre of his territory to make sure that he, and only he, can actually mate with them. And then we've got a small batch of the group just on the periphery. They're actually making their way towards the females. Young males have been chased around by the females, with one or two of the females. Bless you. Yeah, quite interesting. So I think we'll just stay with them just a few minutes longer. But wherever you are in the world, good morning. Welcome to Juma. My name's Tara, and joining me on camera is Sebastian, and back in front control is Mark. So if you do have any questions this morning, please send them through to questions@juma.com. And it is day 8 for me, my 8th drive for the checklist challenge. See what we can tick off this morning. Hopefully we're going to see some nice things. We'll have a look in search of the elephants that we found briefly last night. And there has been monkeys calling, and I went down towards the lodge just on the driveway because I was hoping the monkeys were actually going to be this side. But unfortunately it turns out they're somewhere down in the front of the room, so I think there is possibly the cubs still down there. But there are guests still at the lodge, so I can't go down there until after 6. There you go, a couple of males. A few guinea fowl complaining now. Impala are all watching the guinea fowl actually. Apart from these boys. But they've been posturing, they've been smacking their lips and licking their lips, which is also another sign of dominance. Winding each other up. There's a woolly neck stork. I just saw a glimpse of it just behind one of the hills, and I don't know. It looks like it's disappeared now. Oh no, it is, it's there. It's just to the right of the last impala. Very nice too. We actually got a couple of males actually sparring now. Sorry Seb, backwards and forwards. It almost looks like we've got a bit of a sparring school going on there. It's quite interesting though. I don't know what the young male had done to the female, but she was chasing him. I don't know if she was trying to exercise and trying to get the baby to shift, but there's a couple of females that look a little bit tetchy, you know, sort of making a space around them, so it could be they're very close now. You see, there's the male who's posturing again. Now the whole purpose is not to try and... Oh, there's the male who's got a skew horn. You see, he's trying to line himself up with him. But just with the skew horn with being a slightly different angle. But he's also got quite narrow horns as well, so that match is going to be quite difficult. But the whole purpose of putting the heads together is not to actually try and stake each other. with the horn. It's to actually put the heads together, and it's a battle of strength. And it's thought the ridges actually on the horns, you might be able to see them. I could see them quite clearly then. It's thought that they actually stop the horns from slipping. So they interlock. But even outside of the breeding season, you still have a dominance hierarchy, so that's what this is going to be about. You've got a couple of young males there also trying to join in the mix as well. And yes, still grey and overcast. Is this Africa or is this the UK? This is still slightly warmer than the UK would be. Only slightly though. So yeah, now the best of friends at the back there, look, allo grooming. See, slightly uneven match at the back. And that's actually one of the ways you can see it really is sparring, especially between those two now that you can see. Look how small the one on the right is compared to the one on the left. He's much younger than the one on the left. But he's learning, possibly for his first round next year. Because when two males are evenly matched, you see all these boys, look at the size of their horns. They're fairly similar in length, they're probably fairly similar in age, and actually looking at them, there's not really any size difference between them. And that's when you do get the serious fighting. As I say, this is all sparring and probably dominance hierarchy at the moment, especially between these three boys. But especially during the breeding season, which is usually around March, April, May time, you wouldn't have a group of males like this together. You'd have a male holding onto a territory and he'll be chasing any other male, whether he's young or old, he'll be chasing him out of his territory. And that's when all the posturing comes into play. They'll actually, try and show off how big and strong they are to actually avoid fighting. So the licking the lips, smacking the lips together, roaring as well. Whoever can roar the loudest gives a good indication of how strong they are. But if that can't be determined by all of those things, if the opponent still isn't backing off, that's when it'll go to a fight. But the problem with fighting is you can become injured, and that's why animals go through these rituals of strutting their stuff almost, showing off how big and strong they are, so they actually can avoid fighting. Because if they do become injured, that could spell danger and death for them. Could slow them down if they've got an injured leg. It could, if their senses become injured. If they get a cut on the side, it could get infected. Ooh! Oh. I've just noticed who's been sitting next to me. He's just flown off. Class over today. Nope. And the ladies really aren't paying any attention. It doesn't involve them at all. They're quite happy just carrying on with grazing, grooming, toileting. You're probably feeling quite uncomfortable. I was also hoping to see if we could find the Gowrie gang, but they're not here. Well, not that I can see. What's wrong, squirrel? Oh, there he is. Oh, I wonder if we can get him. Stay there. Please stay there. See if we can get him from here. It's not at the best angle. Can you see him just on the end of the branch? So this is going to be, hopefully, if he stays put, there he is. Yeah, centre of the screen. Your first ID for the morning. There we go. Just notice the tail. There's a slightly shorter tail than what. If he could actually turn around, that's going to really help you. So we can see the breast. There he is. Yeah, that little tree there. Busy catching something. Oh, well done. Yep, same little tree. There we go. Oh, he did catch something. Sure, that was a big beetle. But hopefully you saw the streaked breast. Don't be antisocial. Turn this way. Beautiful bird, and hopefully you're seeing the colour when it's flying off. Cousin you see a lot more, and we're still waiting for a migrant cousin to come back. And I've actually noticed we seem to see this one more when it's overcast. I don't know if that has something to do with it. Maybe it affects their behaviour slightly, but I don't know. Every time it's sunny I don't see them. When it's overcast like this, they seem to be quite happy being out and about. This might just be a coincidence though. Turn this way. See, using the tree as an advantage is actually looking below, seeing if there's anything that it can spot. Anything of interest to eat. You often find animals that hunt insects or fish or other animals will do that. Just sit quietly on a bush or a tree quite high up. Hello, turn this way. It just gives them that height advantage and they can just have a look. And all of a sudden swoop down on the unsuspecting animal. Or fish or insect. I'm actually going to try and move. I'm just going to try and pull around this side. I'm hoping if I don't go too close, but we just change our position slightly, that we'll get a better view of it. Get a side view of it at least. We might come back to the same spot. Just went down to the ground again. Yeah, hopefully. And he'll sit looking the other way. Actually, I can see him on the ground. This is sort of about 7 meters from the tree. It's like he found something else. Yeah, look. That one's a little bit larger than the one before. Sure. Looks like they are beetles though. Quite hard casing. And he's just slightly soft on the focusing there. So I'm just waiting for an ID on the bird. Not as many colours on it as its cousin, but still a fair few. Ah. Diane, Amber, Joanne, thank you very much. Coming through with purple roller. It is a purple roller. The short tail and the streaked breast, even if you can't see the colours on it, they're quite dull compared to the lilac-breasted roller, which is probably got around 17 or 18 colours on it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bird. But this one's also, and as I say, you don't see it very often. As I say, that's short and tailed. The lilac-breasted has a couple of fairly long parts to the tail, and slightly larger than the lilac-breasted. And you've also got the European roller, who's got a lot of blue on it, which we're waiting for them to come back there. We've gone straight back to the same tree, and hopefully this time you can see the striped breast before we move on. There we go, beautiful. You can see it's got that overall look of a roller. But it doesn't have that lilac, doesn't have the blue on it. And especially under the wing, if you saw that dark, deep purple under the wing, also very characteristic of the purple roller. I was on something else. Awesome. Shall we leave him to it? Nice to be able to see him properly. Most of the boys are back to grazing. Let's have a quick wander down towards Chelapan and that area, and then we'll make our way back up towards the rooms this side. And let's hope that none of the guests decide to sleep in this morning. So I have a sneaking suspicion they might well have done. flowers here. The poison apples. Related to the tomatoes. They actually look like they have yellow tomatoes on the plant. Related to the tomatoes, potatoes and aubergines. Beautiful, beautiful little flowers. Also related to deadly nightshade, you do get deadly nightshade out here. Belladonna. Which was actually used in, I think it was around Elizabethan times in the UK. Used to put underneath ladies' eyes and over the, I think actually as eyeshadow as well, and it actually encouraged the pupils to open. It's toxic. It's to make them look more attractive. So we'll have to keep looking out for the fruits. Elephants have been known to eat the fruits. As I say, as a human to eat them, they are toxic. Poison apple. Beautiful. I think I drove over some wild basil earlier as well. That was actually one of the smells I could smell. Very nice. Very herby. As I say, hopefully if we head down towards Chelapan, that's where we left the elephants. And we'll do a loop back towards the lodge. Hi Caroline, good to hear from you. Hope you're well this morning. Go around this way. Speaking of elephants, Caroline wants to know where the ear canal is, behind or in front of the ear flap, and why are African elephants' ears much larger than, say, the Asian cousins. Firstly, the ear channel is in front of the ear flap, not behind. And sometimes if we get close enough, sometimes you can actually see it, and you can see all the hairs that protect it. I mean, I could probably fit my hand into the ear channel quite nicely if I wanted to, not that I'd want to. So it's quite a large opening, but quite narrow. So you couldn't sort of put your fist down it, but you could put a flat hand. But that does have a lot of hairs just to protect and stop any insects getting in there. Although obviously ticks and things like that will still penetrate. But at least it will stop the majority of things getting down there. But why does the African elephant have a much larger pinna than the Asian? I'm not entirely sure, but I would probably go along the lines of the fact that the African elephant is larger, so they need to increase the surface area a lot more than their Asian cousins. And that's one of the reasons why they do have large ears, is to help cool them down. It increases the body surface area. So Asian elephants, even though they're large, they are relatively smaller than their African cousins. Also, it could possibly to do with the fact that Asian elephants tend to be more of a forest elephant, so they're going to be finding a lot more shade, whereas the African elephant can be out, you know, in semi-desert environments. They can be, you know, out in the savannah where there's very few trees. So again, they're going to need to be able to cool themselves down even more efficiently. And it could also be to do with communication. As African elephants do tend to cover quite vast areas, and they are thought to be able to communicate with each other over quite vast distances. They're actually thought to be able to recognise each other over a kilometre and a half. And obviously, the larger the outside of your ear is, the more sound you can collect. So the better your hearing becomes. And if you think about a hyena, think about how big the outer ear is, and it's pretty big compared to the size of its face, and it's got very good hearing, because it, you know, if there's a cry in the bush of an animal dying, if they, you know, fairly within earshot, which could be quite a distance, it can actually help them to find food. Elephants, let's say the large pinna, they can actually listen and hear other animals or other elephants over a few kilometers. It's thought it can actually hear, I think sometimes up to 10 kilometers if the trumpeting elephant's calling. Maybe even more. I think that little boy last night, I'm sure the other elephants were calling to him. For those of you who went on board last night, we found a little boy elephant, roughly around 10 years. And he was screaming. He was very distressed, because he possibly got left behind. He was engrossed in something and didn't realise everybody else was moving on. And it is possible that he was hearing them, but he just couldn't get a direction. He actually ran in the opposite direction. But once the wind did drop a little bit, we actually did hear him start to come back towards. We actually found them eventually, and it sounded like he was making his way towards where they were. So I'm sure they were in communication with him, but possibly he just wasn't able to get the direction. Maybe with the wind being a little bit choppy, and him panicking. Ooh, hello. Can you get her through there? Don't run away, lady. Okay, this is your ID 2 for this morning. And if you would like to join in, this is the checklist challenge. Myself, Mark and Seb, all seeing how many species we can tick off in 20 drives. But we can only tick it off if you guys ID it correctly. So there has been a couple of discrepancies. So we've got to be 100% sure. But if you would like to help me tick this one off, I'm going to try and move forward a little bit. Then questions@juma.com. If you would like your checklist to join in, then send through to Mark, questions@juma.com, and request a checklist. We'll be able to send one back to you. Oh, there's a little boy there. Don't run away. Can you see him through there? No, he's going to run away. Oh, that's just rude. Okay, there's a little gap there. Can you let me know if you can see them through there? You might be a little bit high. Now this antelope you can confuse with other antelope, but it lives quite a solitary life. We've got a female and probably her son. Look at the little horns coming through. Be highly unusual to see any more. There may be another female with her offspring, but any more than that, it is very unusual. A few spots on the body there, but overall colour is pretty much the same. Ooh, got a bit of a fright there. Oops. I'll move forward maybe. I'm just going to go back that way. Something spooked him. And look at where we're finding them. It's quite thick vegetation. So the habitat will also help you with this one. Just too thick, I think, there. So it's not that they're rare. It's not that, you know, you don't see them because they're rare. It's just because of where they choose to live, especially when it thickens up like it is now. It's just very difficult to spot them.
Morning, Mobile Station.
Good morning, Ephraim. I don't know if you heard there was some cow calling down towards the rooms at Voyatella.
Copy. Yeah, I'm again to check in Kaya.
Okay, copy. You're able to get that one. There's another little one. Yeah, I don't know if anyone checking around Voyatella, because I didn't want to go down there until the Malungus were out.
I think they want to be checking that Voyatella side.
Okay, copy. Okay, she's coming out again. Nice view. Don't go. Quite relaxed, this one, considering. Let me just try and move forward a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful little female. With that tuft of hair on top of the head. Almost looks like a unicorn. So this is your third ID because we have it so nicely out in the open. Quite skittish usually. Well, that's a really nice view. She's just thinking about the size of ears. One of the bush tricks to try and listen harder, or listen to sounds of the bush, you can actually cup your hand over your ear. So you actually increase the size of your pinner, and it actually works. So if you actually stand, you know, I've got a lot of noise from the machines here. But if I was to go and stand just in front and just cup my hands over my ears like this, I can hear just that little bit better. And it's the same principle as the elephant's ear. So just the larger your ear, the better you can hear. It's a little bush trick. Sometimes you might see people doing that. Very nice too. So you got 2 mammals to ID there this morning. Again, look at where we just found it. Ah, okay. There is a bit of confusion, I thought so. Yeah.
Morning, Jake. I'm on air. Joey is heading south. Sarah is here, something south. We must see. It's going to be a genocide. Okay, put it up. Confirm she's checking. Okay. Confirm she's checking about the south. No, negative. Okay, put it up. I'll let it start to drive corridor plus the Google Earth.
Okay, it sounds like the guests are out. Tex and come in.
Morning, Sarah, go ahead.
Morning, Texan. Yeah, I heard the cow calling down towards the rooms, but I didn't want to go around and disturb your guests, so I'm going to give you a hand. I'll make my way up that side now.
Okay, sorry, that yeah, but
Okay, copy. Thank you. Oh dear. Oh dear. Think someone either got to the flower or the flower died, but it looks like it's actually been eaten. Let me go and have a quick look. Definitely, it chose the wrong day to flower. It definitely looks like it's been chewed off. So if it had died off, you'd see at least the dead petals, but there's nothing there. It has just been lopped off. So I think someone was asking yesterday, will anything eat it? Well, there's your answer. And it's such a shame. It's such a beautiful flower. It's a good job you got a picture of it, Mark. Crinum bufanoides, dam lily. That's what Mark managed to idea it as yesterday. Oh, such a shame. I think some people did get some nice screenshots of it yesterday as well. Oh dear. That's the way it goes, unfortunately. How rude. How rude. No. Yes. Karen in Texas. Sarah. Also, thank you very much, ladies, for bushbuck. It was a female bushbuck. What other big antelope did we have, Mark? Oh wow. Okay. Okay. No, it was a third. Well, sorry, yeah, the second one was third animal. But yes. Joanne and Amber came through for the second antelope. I'll just check it off here. Any others came through with the right answer for the second antelope? Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, okay, so about 20 people came through with the bushbuck. So well done, everybody. Oh, there was a... Oof. No, I thought you were going to add to that. Okay. Yep, you think. Okay, so just to show you what the difference is between... I'm not sure what other species we're getting there, but just to show you the difference. Okay, so it was a bushbuck female. Wait, yeah. Bushbuck, as the name suggests, do live in thick vegetation. So thick vegetation for the bushbuck. This is the male, this is the female. So quite a big difference, but when you have young male bushbuck, they do look very similar to the female, and that's why That little boy was obviously her son, and that's why we saw the two together. On the... No. Where are you going? Down. On the bodies, you tend to get spots. Very rarely you'll see stripes, but there may be the odd one or two individuals that have stripes, but even then it won't be as many as the Nyala or the kudu. So spots, and this one colour, you see not too much in the way of cream under the belly, and not too much other colour, and that's quite normal for the bushbuck. Males do look different. You've got these beautiful white and black on the legs, quite dark in colour. But one thing they do lack is that band across the nose. Now if I can turn the page over, so that's how you can tell it's a bushbuck, and I've been looking for something like that. Because young male bushbuck and young Nyala might look fairly similar. But if you have a look at the Nyala, these are the females, and look at how bold these stripes are. Sometimes they'll have spots, but they'll definitely have stripes, and they'll have quite a number of them, and this beautiful chestnut colour. But look at that white bar across the nose. And the same with the male. The male does go through a change, and again, quite dark in colour, but look at this white bar across the nose. So you may find them in the similar habitat, but Nyala tend to form herds, small herds, but still herds. Kudu, much larger, but obviously you can't really see that on the screen. Kudu, you've got the grey body, sometimes tan, grey neck. Also, stripes on the body, you shouldn't find spots on the body. And again, that white bar between the eyes, over the nose. And the last one you might have got it mixed up with, wherever it is. It's going to prove difficult to find now. There, Impala, who we've just seen. Some people might get a bit confused. Female Impala, we couldn't really see it too nicely today, but they do have dark colour on top, light colour underneath, and then a white belly. So it's this three-tiered coloration. So that's why it wasn't a female Impala. So that was the first one, female bushbuck. And the second one was a Dacre. As I say, apologies for it being so close, but I couldn't resist. You don't often see Dacres out and about like that, or bushbuck. Quite lucky to actually see the two. But why was it a Dacre and not a Steenbok? Well, Steenboks you tend to find more out in the grasslands. Steenbok are these beautiful brick red antelope. You see that red really nice there, and this white. Slender, very, very slender antelope. Got this black down the nose here as well. Big, big ears. Whereas the Dacre is a stocky little antelope. We would be interested if they were here. So this is a female Dacre, and this is actually what we saw. So you can see the black running from the eyes down towards the nose. Look at that little tuft of hair. It's not there on the Steenbok, but it is there. Almost looks a bit like a unicorn. And this grey body rather than red. Males also, that little tuft of hair, and just like the Steenbok, only the males have horns. So hopefully that helps you with the differences between the two. We're going to start making our way up towards Gowrie Dam now. Although I think actually Texan has checked the areas where we can check. Let me just check with him. Does it sound like we can't go into the drainage line because there is somebody sleeping in? I had a feeling they would. So we won't be able to go into the drainage line, which is where I think the monkeys were and the cubs probably be. Texan, come in. Texan, did you have any luck along Mvubu Road?
Come again?
Did you have any luck with Ingwe along Mvubu Road?
Drive over road now, I'm on the south road, no luck.
Okay, copy, thank you. Well, in that case, I won't go around that area if you're Malungu sleeping in. Thank you. No, it's a no-go. Okay, well, Texan did do Mvubu Road, so that's the only other place that we can do. So maybe we see where these elephants went, have a look around, and then maybe go through a little bit later and just see if they pop out, because that is a possibility. So we'll still make a way there, but he's literally just done it. So, but Zumi, if you're watching, keep a very sharp eye out around by the dam, because you never know, those cubs might come out. Some elephant tracks here. Okay, so they kind of just went through here. Yeah, it was more that way, so I was right going that side. Okay, let's try Nyala Road south. See if we can find any more tracks of them. Although they could be kilometres away, because it was last night, but you never know. They might be doing a small area. This time of year, as there's more food available, they do tend to do smaller loops than what they do in wintertime, because there is more food available in a smaller area. Hi Robin, good morning to you. Ah, they did come this way. Baby came this way. Robin wants to know, oh look, lucky, we have Nyala, and we have a very small female and a very large male. And no, I can tell you now, mister, she will not be interested. She's too small. There you go, beautiful big male Nyala. And here comes some females. Already you can see quite a large number of them. There's the youngster. But Robin wants to know, do the giraffe eat the blossoms off the trees? And yes, they do. So obviously when the blossoms are forming. And they've got a very close relationship to the knobthorn actually, in that when they're feeding, they get pollen on the nose from some of the flowers, and then they go along. This is actually a knobthorn here, very nice specimen to show you while I'm speaking about knobthorn. The reason why it's called a knobthorn is if you have a look at the trunk, you can see all those knobbly parts, protrusions. But when they actually are feeding and they get some pollen on the nose and they go to another tree and feed on it, they'll help to pollinate, in particular the Acacia nigrescens, the knobthorn. It's thought in some areas they're one of the big pollinators of it. So if you take one of these knobs off and you file it down, it's actually been used in the past as snuff. But quite what the purpose of snuff is, I don't know. I did try it once, just to see what it was like. And there was a... it was actually when I was training to be a guide. And we all tried a little bit. But yeah, it made me cough more than anything, so I don't know if it's supposed to clear sinuses or what the story is, but yeah, I do know it was an old thing that they used. And it's still around today, but not as much. I think that's what it was for, was to clear the sinuses. Beautiful tree though. Flowers are on little stalks, about this long. So I think the elephants kind of cut through because I'm not getting any more tracks on the road. Sure, that sky's looking ominous, although the sun is trying to break through. Come on sun, you can do it. We need to see you. We haven't seen you for a little while. I was trying yesterday but it didn't succeed. Hi Cindy. Ah, there's our tracks. Good morning to you. Wanting to know, is the poison apple indigenous to Africa? Because you have something similar in the States. As I say, it does have relatives. A deadly nightshade, I think, is also found in the UK. So it is possible that you do have something similar, probably in the same genus. But there's a lot of different types of solanum, and you get some plants that are huge. They sort of stand this sort of height, healing leaf, but the berries are tiny. It's like almost like holly berries, and the healing leaf you can actually make a poultice from and put it onto wounds, and it'll help to stop infection in the wounds and help them to heal, hence the name. But it always made me chuckle because the stalk itself has got spines on it, so you can actually walk into it and it could cause quite a lot of damage to you, but at least you can heal yourself afterwards with the leaves. But also berry is quite toxic, although some birds do eat them. could do is encourage the rain again. So yeah, as I said, the deadly nightshade, the flowers are very, very small. So lots of different solanum. So it is possible that you do have something similar over there. Maybe even part of the same genus. Where did my eddies go? Possibly went through here. I think we need to try on Cheetah Cut Line. Just in case anybody's missed, even though we did hear the monkeys this morning calling, sounds like down towards the rooms, and in particular the back rooms, room 8, room 7, which is where we left the cubs yesterday. But unfortunately there is somebody sleeping in there, so we can't go and disturb them. So that's why we are looking elsewhere, and I think we'll try and follow up on the elephants, because we haven't really seen elephants properly for quite a while. There's a bit of a drought on elephants, as well as lions. Everyone's actually saying that they haven't seen the lions. Some people for 17, 18, 19 days, some people for about 5 days, which is unusual in some of the areas. So something funny is happening with them. They were just saying one male, one female up towards the Manuletti boundary, but I'm not sure who. Us checking up towards Buffer's Hook. Let's do a bit of a loop, see where the tracks went, because I did lose them. Looked like they were sort of following the general direction, but it's just as easy that they went over that side. Didn't look like it, but it is possible. That's why we're kind of heading in this direction. Tracks there. Ah, there we go. So they must have come in here and come out this side. Yep. And then went in there again, possibly visited these water holes, some fresh water. And looks like they did cross over. Some of them crossed over. It does look like someone's been here already this morning. Nope, too far away. Too far away. Too far. And I was talking about Jordan's Dam and Manuletti boundary, so maybe Jordan's Dam is actually closer on the west than it is on the east. Some of these tracks, so some came down that road, some came over here and came down the road and went that way. Okay, so Buffer's Hook Dam, I would say. Maybe we need to go via Nyala Road North, because they could have done something funny there as well. Let's go up this way and come back down Nyala Road North then. If I remember correctly, giraffe seem to like the sausage tree flowers, just going back to the flowers that they eat. ring a bell. And if you remember when it was flowering, we actually did see a lot of giraffe around there. Ellie tracks, but I think they're going in that direction. Yep.
Also 5 boy,
I hear you. It's your little bird, Seb. Are you able to get him? It's just up ahead, sitting right on the branch and calling this time. Moved. It's just on the end of the branch now. There he is. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to get it, but the sound, the call, very distinctive, and the fact that he sits right on top and calls, oh there he is, yeah, very characteristic. We were trying to ID with Seb the other day, and it was keeping quite quiet. Little brown job. Can hear him. He's just in the back. He's making his way to the top of that bush. Gone too far back. Oh well. Yeah. He is there. Okay, he was just right on the top. There's the thin tree at the back, and he's just sitting right on top there. But I don't know. You might be behind a branch. But especially little brown birds, more often than not, you'll ID them by sight, by sound rather than sight. So if you guys could hear them, I'm not sure if they're coming over. If you could hear them, and you got a brief glimpse, you might. Some big birders out there. You might be able to identify it. Give it a go. For a giggle, if you can. Bush fax machine. And it was funny because the first time I saw it, well, really had a nice look at it and was being quiet. I wasn't sure what it was, which is usually the way with little brown jobs. something. Where are you going? Oh, sure. Like a small raptor. I'm not sure what it was though. I just saw it and I thought that's an odd looking pigeon. It wasn't a pigeon, it was a raptor. So sad. Okay. Another one. Full voice. Thinking about the poison apple, the Latin name Panjuriform, I think it is, Solanum panjuriform. Suddenly popped into my head. Couldn't quite recall it when we saw it. Went to the far reaches of my brain there. If anybody's been able to follow us, we've gone from Nyala Road south onto Central, turn left, so we're now on Drakensberg Drive heading up towards Guaripan and Guaripan Road, which is where we are now. See if there's any water in the little pan. Nope, no water. No water. No elephant tracks crossing over either. So maybe we'll do a little bit of a zigzag. That could be the idea. We'll go up towards Buffelshoek Dam. We'll then take Nyala Road north, south. Then we'll take Hyena Road north, and then we'll take maybe Mvubu Road south. How does that sound? find silver cluster leaves, because I noticed yesterday there was what looks to be some mistletoe growing on some of the silver cluster leaves over towards the western side. But looking on this side, there doesn't seem to be any. Or is it galls? Yeah, because I've been wanting to look at it and actually, because I say it looked like mistletoe, but I wanted to see what it actually was. Where did you go? I wasn't imagining it, was I?
No,
I did see something there.
When I turned the camera.
There's a nice little dwarf mongoose sitting on top. I can hear the bird again. Doesn't want to play. You can see all the little holes there that they've dug, enlarging the tunnels that the termites would have used. But on a day like today, that's going to be nice and warm. I bet they're sleeping in this morning. And these dwarf mongoose will often utilise the termite man. There may be several within their territory that they can use. You'll find the family, if one uses it, they all will use it. And they'll use it for safety overnight. Nope, you're not going to come out and play. That's not good. Oh, there's another one sitting upon the tree. Okay, let's give it another go. There we go. Okay, just stay there, little one. So there you go, very typical. Sitting on top, calling its little heart out. Beautiful little bird. It's actually being answered. I can hear another one further down. And if you were to look inside its mouth, it would be black. It's sort of pale. Gone. I'd say very characteristic for that type of little brown job. Some will call in the centre of the tree, but the fact that it's sitting on top to call. And that very distinctive call. You do get slight variations on that, but that is a typical call. I can hear a couple more. There's one calling down there, there's one calling over there. Stating their claim, and that's why birds sing in the morning. Most of the birds, you've got about 90% of the birds will call first thing in the morning, especially during this time of year, to tell everybody, hey, I've survived the night, don't bother trying to take over my territory. And that's a lot to do with why the birds call. You may have some birds calling to find any partners they may have lost overnight to relocate each other. But that's why you get such a big dawn chorus in the summertime, the breeding season, more so than what you do in the wintertime. Obviously with all the migrants that come back as well. A lot more birds to call. Looks like our Ellies did cross over. Well, kind of meandered down here a little bit, I think. Aha! Who was that? Thank you very much, Lee. Well done. Quite a tough one. It was a rattling cisticola, or cisticular, depends on how you want to say it. One of those potato. The squirrel's still in there. He went into the little bit of log. There he is. Yeah, little tree squirrel. Don't hide behind the tree. Very relaxed though. Got a bit of a standoff going on here. There we go. Should come out there. No. No fear. Thinking our elephants might have crossed over already towards Cheetah Cut Line. So yes, rattling cisticola, cisticular is what the bird was. You can also identify the birds, the little brown jobs. I've actually bought a little brown job book, which is quite nice as well, helping to narrow down what to look for with little brown jobs. So it is nice to know what the little brown jobs are. But certainly the call is the best way to go to begin with. But then the habitat, the flight pattern as well helps. But certainly behaviour as well. Hi Melva Ann, good morning to you. And I'm assuming you're talking about Karula's recent son. Not Induna and Mishu. Melva wants to know what the meaning of Karula's son and his name. And it is Shivambalana, which means emerald spotted dove. Emerald spotted wood dove, I think is its full name now, isn't it? Shivambalana. And that was on account of him being quite shy, especially when he was younger. But he's still, you know, it's still usually his sister that takes the lead, and he does tend to get a lot more confident when mum and sister are around, although he is starting to come a lot more bolder than what he was. But still, I think he is quite a mummy's boy, and I think that does drive him to do things. And I remember we were sitting with the cubs and Karuna on a kill. And he was quite restless. Karuna left. She left where the tree with the kill. They'd eaten all the kill, dropped some of it. So she left. And I thought maybe she's gone completely and she's left the cubs. But he was very restless. Shavinzi started settling down to sleep. But he was like, I want to get going. And I thought that was quite odd anyway. And eventually, after doing a little bit of a loop on the tree and kind of looking at the hyenas and looking in the same direction, that's when I think, well, maybe she hasn't gone too far. And sure enough, let's go to the Suk Dam anyway. But sure enough, after about the fourth attempt, he came down the tree, took there was a small tree next to it, and he actually went into the small tree to come down. I don't know why he thought that was the better route, but obviously he did. And he sort of hit the ground running almost, like his mother did, thinking that the hyenas were going to chase after him. Hyenas barely even looked. So he slowed down after he realised they weren't chasing him. But he went straight to Mum. And that's when we actually did see that Karuna was still around. So he went straight to her, and then Shavinzi was kind of like, oh, is Mum still here? Oh well, I suppose we better get going then. But she was, it didn't take her long to actually leave the tree either, and she was quite, she took the same route as Mum. She took the way down the trunk. No messing around, she just went. But, there's the cautiousness of his nature, I think, will help him. I think it will stand him in good stead, especially later on in life. Because if he rushes headlong into a fight, for example, then that could actually spell trouble for him. Whereas if he thinks about it and weighs it up, it might just help him out. And let's not forget, the emerald spotted wood dove is a beautiful little bird. And he certainly looks like he's going to be a stunning male. He actually has a bit of a look of Mishu. And that's where I've slipped up actually on IDing him, because he does have a little Y at the corner of his eye like his brother, in one of his eyes. Doesn't have it so much on the other eye. But he also does have sort of the face shape of Mishu. There is definitely no doubting that Shavinzi is her mother's daughter. Character and looks. Hello, hippo. Did you see any? Oh, we did have elephants come through here. How do I know? Look at what's in front of us. Got a calling card. Branch on the left and dung on the right. So the herd did come through this way. So they must have crossed into this block, came up here. Just got to try and find where they went from there. And someone's been chewing on that, taking all the bark off it. Oh, I won't upset Mr. Hippo or Mrs. Hippo. Let's see who it is. Now this is looking quite fresh. I just want to have a quick look at it. Oh, they came down this side to drink. Oh. Where are you? Where are you? Somewhere in this tree. We need to find him. He's behind this log here. Branch even. If anybody's good with the calls, this is another one that you very rarely see, and you usually ID on the call. But I'd love to get him on camera if we could. Come on, where are you? Show yourself. Keep seeing little branches moving. I think it's actually just behind this little branch there. I think it's on that, just behind there. Oh yeah, earpiece would be helpful, wouldn't it? Hello, Hornbill. Red-billed hornbill. In honor of Patrick, flying chili. The Deirdre's cuckoo is not coming out to play. That's very sad. I'd love to have got him on camera and say, a bit unfair, you didn't really hear all the call either. So I think rather not do on the checklist. But certainly the call, Diedrichs, actually says its name. Diedrichs. There we go. Diedrichs. Diedrichs. And Hornbill couldn't care less. Could you, Hornbill? Are you waiting for your little companions? They're all sleeping in. Quite interesting, the Hornbills seem to have quite a nice relationship, working relationship actually, with the dwarf mongoose. It's funny we haven't seen any dwarf or any hornbills waiting around the dwarf mongoose termite mounds, because quite often if they know where dwarf mongoose sleep, you'll get maybe one or two hornbills waiting for them to wake up and go foraging together. And it's even been studied or even been seen that dwarf mongoose will sometimes wait for the hornbills to pitch up before they go foraging, in areas where they really are quite good friends. And we have seen it here. There are some colonies that seem to have the hornbill partners. That's such a great view of this red-billed hornbill. Come on, where are you? It's amazing, that bill looks like it could almost be quite clumsy, and yet you can see very gentle, very delicate when they need to be. They can pick up the smallest of grains, or they can use it to catch beetles, lizards, maybe even small mammals sometimes. And of course preening being extremely important in the birds. If any feather is slightly out, it could actually make a huge difference to their flight. Put them slightly off balance, making sure everything sits the way it should. especially after strong winds and rain. And most birds actually have a preen oil. And through there, I wonder. Saw them right at the back of the Torchwood. Yes! Yep. Okay, I don't know if you're going to be able to see though. They're right at the back. Don't know if you can see, they're fluttering around now. There's one, one's gone. There goes the other pair of them. Found his mate. I'll actually show you quickly. I'm just trying to remember actually if the Deirdre's cuckoo parasitizes buffalo weavers. There we go, this is the Deirdre's cuckoo. I say you don't see them very easily. I saw the male. This is the male, and this is the female. So that's the Deirdre's cuckoo. And just like a lot of cuckoos, they will lay their eggs in other birds' nests. Some, like the red-chested, will have many different hosts. The red-chested, I think, has got 24 different hosts. Depending on which area they're in, you might find them choosing one particular species over another. But I think the Deirdre's only have a couple, if I can remember rightly, but I'm battling to remember what it is that they parasitize. Maybe someone can check for us. And I heard the black cuckoo yesterday, but not its normal call. The black cuckoo tends to say, "I'm so sad, I'm so sad." I'll show you the black cuckoo. This one here. Well, that's the juvenile, this is the adult. But not all cuckoos, or members of the family, should I say. So the cuckoos do lay their eggs in other birds' nests, but one of their relatives, if I can find you now, which is one that we see, is the Burchell's cuckoo. This little guy, part of the cuckoo family, but they do actually build their own nest, the cuckoos. C-O-U-C-A-L. So this one here is the one that we get here the most often. I can hear the Bateleur going as well. Where are you, Bateleur? But there are two other families who also parasitize. Ooh! Where are you going? See if they're going to come in and land. This tree would be nice. Over here. Here, come. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, they're going to come in and drink, I think. But the honey guides are one of the other families that lay eggs in other birds' nests, and the widers. So there's actually 3 families that parasitize other birds, and all that means is they'll actually leave somebody else to rear the chicks, basically. And they have different ways and means of getting their eggs into somebody else's nest. Oh, he's back again. no, it's not. I thought I was hearing a batalier. It sounds very similar, but it's the starting call of another cuckoo who's sitting in the tree. This is... I wonder if that's because of the birds that are around here. It's actually drawing a lot of the cuckoos here. You see him just... yeah, there he is. If you'd actually turn around, because there's two that we have here that do have crests and are black and white, but if he turns around, it'll actually show you the diagnostic feature that actually helps to separate them. Come, turn. Although that white on the wing bar, the white on the wing bar, the white wing bar should help. But the other one does have it as well. Come, turn. You might just be able to see it. I did see a little bit there. As I was talking about, they have... Ah, there we go. Come on, turn around a bit more. I was talking about the preen oil, and it's usually the gland is found just at the base of the tail, and that's why you'll often see birds stretching around to the base of the tail. And they get the oil onto the beak, and then they'll actually wipe it over the feathers, and that helps to waterproof the feathers. Oh. And there he goes. So another two cuckoos. Before we move off, we'll go to... We'll see where these tracks of the elephants go. There, these two here. So the striped, or levalon, is that how you say it?
How do you say it?
The striped or the levalon?
Oh, Lebanon, yeah.
Levalon. Because he's a Frenchman.
Levaillon.
Levaillon, that's it. Get the right pronunciation. But you have the Jacobin and the Levaillon. Levaillon. Sure, difficult name. Yeah, Levaillon. Or striped cuckoo. So this is the two that it could have been. So there's that little white wing bar on both of them. But I'm pretty sure I saw the streaks on the breast. But if it's got no streaks, bare breast, then it's a Jacobin cuckoo. But otherwise they do look very similar. So there you go. Wow, lots of cuckoos. Lots of cuckoos. Okay, well we'll leave the Deirdricks. Looks like I'm playing hide and seek again. Not too much else happening, not even another look from the hippo. So, okay, well, slight change to the plan. Just want to have a quick look here, see where these tracks of the elephants went. They could have also gone around the dam and gone out the other side. Just want to check they didn't come back on themselves here. I checked the dung. The dung was cold, so it's not recently. Maybe in the last 2 or 3 hours, maybe. So, and we haven't had any sun, so it's not as if the sun has baked the dung. So it could well have been in 4 or 5 hours ago. It's still nice and wet, so at least we know it's fairly recently. Shouting now. Any chance of seeing what type of cuckoo? Emeralds. Where are you, squirrel? Oh, well done, Dr. Rita. Dr. Rita ID'd the cuckoo before I said what it was on the sound. I'll leave it to you guys to say if I can have it or not. Because it was literally just the one call that we had. What are you calling about? Squirrel's quite adamant there's something going on. Go back through onto the northern side. Just want to have a quick look down here. See if anybody's moving around, see why squirrel's upset. See if we can see. It'd be nice if it was lions. It'd be very nice if it was lion. It's kind of that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a pathway in here. Let's just have a quick check down in here. Mvula likes to patrol these parts. That'd be very nice if it was Mvula. But it could also be... See, squirrels have got so many enemies. Could be anybody. They like to call for anything as well. And you can't... It doesn't sound like you can distinguish between whether they're fighting or whether there's a predator. So now he's stopped calling. Okay, now let's try. Joanne! Morning to you, Joanne. Hope you're well. Wanting to know what's the chance of seeing an emerald cuckoo. And I shall have to check But I think if it's on the checklist, there is a possibility. I mean that it is seen in the area. Just see if it is on the checklist. I actually don't know the emerald's call. I'll have to check that one out. So it's one I've never seen, I must admit. Or have I seen it? Quick look. Yeah. So it's not on the list. Mark's saying thinks it's Botswana, East Africa. It goes. So I'm just trying to remember if I've seen it up in Hoedspruit. Diederik's call is going again. No, I think maybe it was the Classes cookie that I saw. Oh no, maybe it was the emerald. See, I forget now. I remember seeing quite a bright green one. It was either the Classes or the emerald. The distribution-wise for the emeralds, it's saying it could possibly be found here. Going up into, oh, this is Namibia, Botswana, and this would be Zimbabwe. So going up into Zimbabwe, a little bit of Bots. But it's not saying it's on the bird list, so probably very, very, very slim. Maybe it could be found in Kruger, and it might happen to fly over here. Has anybody come back with who the Diederik's cuckoo parasitizes? Because it's one of those I always forget. That's just rude. Oh, really? Really, really? Okay. Let's see if this works. Awesome. This is good. This is good. So Ellie's, where did you go, Ellie's? Where did you go from the dam? Where did you go? I went for walkabout, went in that way. Well, there's a track going there. They would have climbed, I think they would have walked up here. Would have been easier. Hyenas were down here. Okay, well let's do a loop around this way then. Do the northeastern side, see if those tracks crossed over or not. So it could be that they actually doubled back on themselves. And they went somewhere else. Little one. Let's go forward a little bit rather than back. He's just running. Either which way. There's a little steenbok. It'd be nice to have shown you the difference. Oh yeah, I didn't think I had any. So I've been waffling on. There in Edmonton. Good morning to you, and wanting to know about if the baby elephant or the young elephant found the herd last night. So he was probably about a 10-year-old, so he wasn't baby. We don't know, but I would say so. I mean, elephants have very good hearing. I'm sure they heard him, and I'm sure they would have been responding to him. But he just couldn't hear it, because remember, elephants are capable of sounds that we can't hear. But it could have been that he couldn't work out which direction it was coming from. And that's possibly why he was getting so stressed out. But the distance that they were, I mean, there's no reason why, well, they definitely would have heard him. But he just took the wrong turning. But when we were with them, it did sound like he was coming back towards them. And also asking if I could give you the number, the page number. I'll try and remember, Anne. I'm showing you something in the book. So those of you who do have your books, you can have a look. Hi, Brenda. Good morning to you over there in Louisiana, or good evening. Wanting to know, why are some roads called cut lines? It looks like there's somebody ripped a big hole in the side of that termite mound. That was probably aardvark. If you can see it from there through the branches. Look at the size of that hole. Somebody went feeding in there. Never seen how a pangolin opens a termite mound. See, this could even be the pangolin. But just the size of it looks a little bit large, because pangolins are a lot smaller than aardvark. That looks about the right size for aardvark, but it could be that he just dug his way through or opened it up, and it just happened to be that it was that size that they made. Bits crumbling away, but distracted myself. Oh, cut lines, that was it. Cut lines. And the cut line generally is for old fence lines that would have been between properties. So this is, Buffelshoek is actually on our left, that's why I'm not going to go and have a look what was going on at the Termite Mound. So I'm not allowed on that property. And our property is here on the right. This is Cheetah Cut Line. And apparently I think this one actually ran down, it was Chitwa that it actually went down to, but it kind of got changed into Cheetah. Torchwood's on our left here, but this is still between two properties. It's usually talking about a fence line. That's why they're so straight. I mean, if you see how straight these roads are, how straight Buffelshoek is, Gowrie Cut Line, maybe there was an old division there, but they are generally very straight roads. Whereas other roads may have been made by someone, like Aubrey might have made that road, named after people, Zoe and Rebecca, who are the daughters of Yuri, who owns this property. Sometimes roads are named after animals that are first seen on them. So I wonder if a mamba was actually seen on Mamba Road. There's usually stories behind them. There was a big plain back on the old reserve that had lots of aardvark holes. And I remember it hadn't been named at that point. Even our head guide was out. And I remember we had lions sitting right in the middle of the plain. And the guys were just... Because we hadn't really been driving, it was a new area, it opened up, and we hadn't really been driving much on there. So the plain next door is pretty drivable. And then on this excuse me, other plain, there was a lot of holes that we didn't know about. And you just see headlights sort of go and they'll dip and someone found a hole, and then somebody else's headlight would go and nut, dip, found another hole. And even, as I say, our head guide also found himself in a hole, and I remember him saying it's so deep he's fallen completely in it, as in he can't even see his way out without a torch. It was a very, very funny night. So I suggested we call that plain Ngoti, which was hole in Sepedi, Ngoti. So Ngoti Plains is now there. But very funny night, I must admit. Some of the chatter on the radio is just hysterical. Thanks, Lynn, over there in Canada. Weavers, bishops, sparrows, any bird with a ball-type nest is a favourite for the Deirdre's cuckoo. And there was some weavers starting to build nests in that tree. There isn't any at the moment. I just saw a couple of weavers flying right at the back of the tree. But the buffalo weaver was there as well. And that's why I was wondering if one of those would be along those lines. I'm going to go down a little bit further actually. Thanks, Joanne. Also giving the same information. Thanks for looking that up. So I always forget, I should actually remember that one. Who lays eggs in whose nest. So some are very host specific, especially the widers. You tend to get the widers. Pintail wider parasitizes the common waxbill, and sometimes a couple of other waxbills, but generally the common. morning, Gail. Welcome on board this morning. Do we have skunks in Africa? No, we don't have skunks. We have something similar to a skunk, a zorilla, polecat, striped polecat, and apparently, I didn't know this until fairly recently, they are able to spray, to squirt a foul-smelling odour, but it's not a skunk. It's something similar. I think the skunks have actually been put into their own separate family now as well, because they were grouped with mustelids. I think they do have their own separate family. No sign of elephants crossing this way. Okay, well, let's try Pipeline. Not Pipeline, Hippo Pools Road. That's a road that we haven't done towards the dam, but I think they have gone into a block somewhere. We'll come. I still want to do Mvubu Road. See if we hit it lucky with the cubs. Good morning, Marilyn. Marilyn wants to know, what bird does the three blind mice call? Three blind mice. That is the chin spot batis. Dove. See, I'm not convinced that these elephants have gone. Yep, Mud. Morning, Mud. Hope you're well. I call her Mud. Hi Barbara, welcome back. Apparently you've been a little bit ill. Good to hear that you're back with us, and I hope you recover very soon. But I think I am going to have to put the elephant search on hold. I've driven every possible road this side now. But we'll do Hippo Pools Road. It might just be that side. One last drive past Buffles Hook Dam. November actually, aren't we? November. I wonder if there's actually going to be another bird challenge, because in November there's a big birding community challenge, and it usually happens in November. I'm sure it's November. I think it's usually around the 24th or something, and it's basically over 24 hours. And you have to try and ID as many birds as possible. You have a team of 4 usually. Or you can have anything from 1 to 4. And as I say, in the 24 hours... Oh, it's the 26th this year. 26th of November. Yeah, birding big day, that's it. And... as I say, in the 24-hour period, you go and see how many birds you can tick off. I think actually maybe there is a minimum, because you've got to have 2 people to ID a bird. So as long as you've got 2 that can say yes, that bird was that, whether it's on the call or the site, then it counts. And it's actually quite nice to see what distribution of birds there are across the country as well, which does help a lot. And that's why my Deirdrix counts, apparently. So Mark's saying I can have my Deirdrix. So thanks, Dr. Rita. Yeah. I've got a few vultures in the sky. Are you catching thermals, guys? I can actually feel there is the heat. It is starting to warm up, so it's possible these vultures are actually catching thermals. Just see if we can get a clear gap through here. Yeah, it looks like they're climbing higher. Proving just a little bit difficult. They are climbing though. Yeah, no worries. It's worth a try though. Always worth a try. Sorry, who was that from? Thanks, Carolyn. Not sure if you're asking a question or just sending the information through. Apparently you were watching a wildlife program the other day where a lizard was breaking into termite mound, laying her eggs. The termites patched it up, and after the incubation period the mother returned to release the hatchlings, and when they do hatch there's a ready-made meal for them. Yeah, the lizard that tends to do that here is the Nile monitor. You don't really hear the rock monitor doing it, but the Nile monitor. And if the Nile monitor does... Oh, there's the geese. Let's have a quick hello to our geese family and then we'll head along Buffelshoek Cut Line. So I've driven this area a lot and still no other sign of those elephants. Can't hear any branches snapping either. Well, yeah, they're on the way down to the water's edge. Yeah, as I say, if she was to have her own nest, the incubation period is slightly longer than utilising the termite mounds. And that's because the temperature is kept at a constant. So it actually just allows that incubation period just to be a little bit quicker. It's not too much. I mean, I was actually quite shocked. I thought it would be a lot more than what it is, but I think it's about a month difference, maybe something like that. It's still a little bit quicker. You can hear the southern bobo calling now. I don't know if that's coming over. Cool. Let's continue on. Southern bobo is actually quite interesting. So it'll often call into a rock to amplify its sound, and that's what it sounds like that one was doing. Maybe it found somewhere to amplify the sound. But maybe we should try. Let's try Nyala Road North. You never know. And we'll head down towards Mvubu Road. Or maybe not do Hyena. We'll see what we find. But it also has a lot of different calls, and depending on the area that you're in, you'll have different calls coming out. In the old area that I used to work in the Waterberg, the bobos there would give a slightly different call, the main call, as to what they call down here. And they do have different dialects as well. Well, that's pretty much it. But it's different, slightly different sounds, different dialects in different areas. And other birds, some birds have a similar sort of thing. They'll have a slightly different dialect depending on which area they're from. A bit like in the UK, we have a lot of different accents. So someone from the south sounds very different to someone from the north, which is what I am. So you can actually, there's some people that can actually pinpoint somebody in the UK just depending on what accent you have. And I'm sure that's the same for other countries worldwide. I think France, there is a difference between the north and south as well, isn't there? Do you know?
Yeah.
There is a bit of a difference. And I suppose American, you also have slightly different accents the further down the country you go. So we're on Nyala Road North, and Luke wants me to show you a map. Dig out the map of where we are. But if you'd like to, maybe Mark can send you a copy of the map as well, or the link. I think I actually did put the map on the desktop to be able to send to you. Here we go. And this hopefully is what you'll get sent back. That way around. This is not. It's actually in colour, the one that gets sent back to you. But this is the area for those of you, if we have any new viewers. This is our 1,000 hectares that we traverse. Buffelshoek is up here. Torchwood is here. We've just driven down Cheetah Cut Line, which is here. So this morning, I'll show you quickly. We started off on the quarantine open area here, and then we went down towards Chelapan. Now Chelapan is the only one that's not marked on the map, and I think this is actually named wrong. This is Elephant Skull here, but Elephant Skull is this one down here. So this is wrong. This is Chelapan Road here. Chelapan is just at the junction here. And this is why I got so hideously lost from when I started, because Chelapan was never marked on the map, and I just got so lost because of it. But luckily, sorted all that out, and I realised that's where it's supposed to be on the map. So that's Chelapan there. We then went Nyala Road South, which is this one here, and then we went along Central, up onto Drakensberg Drive, Guaripan Road, came through here onto Buffelshoek, so Buffelshoek Dam is here. Then we went up to the north, actually, went along the cut line, right the way along here, came down here, and back onto Central Road, so this is part of Central Road, and then back up Drakensberg Drive. Now this one for some reason doesn't have Hippo Pools Road, but Hippo Pools is actually quite a quick road which does this straight through to Buffelshoek. So the map that you'll get should have Hippo Pools Road on as well. And now we've come down Nyala Road North, so at the moment we're actually sitting here. My plan is, let's just check on the time. My plan is, okay, I wanted to go up Hyena Road, but I think we're going to come down here, take Central all the way along to Gowrie Dam, and try Mvubu Road up here, and we'll see how we go from there. Let's see if there's anything of interest. I'm hearing the rainbird calling now. Southern Bobo, let me just quickly show you, for those of you who don't know Southern Bobo. She says, quickly, 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 time's running out, 3:75. Come girl, come. Thank you. Southern Bobo, with different dialects, calling into the rock. This bird here, quite a large bird. There you go. Slight hook on the beak, shows that it is a member of the shrikes. Shrikes have a little slight hook. Possibly for helping to tear open flesh a little bit easier. And this beautiful rufous belly. Quite a big bird. 22 centimetres, so body length is probably about that sort of length. From beak to tip of the tail, something like that. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Page number 375 in the Sassel Bird Book. So I didn't remember this time. Sure, those rattling cisticolas are really in full swing this morning. I just keep hearing them everywhere I'm going at the moment. Bush fax machine. That was actually one of the very first bird calls I learned at the Bush Academy. And he was just sitting on the top of the tree every morning when we went out on drive. Same tree, every morning without fail. Got ingrained. I also wanted to have a good look around Buffelshoek Dam as well, just to see if there's any lions lying around there. Sadly not. I know it's on the desktop. Under pictures. So maybe try under pictures. Spiderweb. Spiders are on the move. You ever wonder how a spider moves? The little ones. Oh look, we've got Shambhalana's namesake in the road. They put out a string of silk and they flow in the breeze. It's going hiding. Gone. Feel the warmth. The sun is trying, I can feel it. As my thermometer say. Not that I actually believe it. Maybe I should demand my money back. A whole £2 worth. Maybe that's what the problem was. I was reckoning it's about 12 degrees, which I don't think so. It's a little bit warmer than that. Okay, Mark's just saying he's trying to send that map to you, but it looks like it's not attaching things for some reason again. So I'll try and send it to you later, Luke. Okay, and anybody else requesting as well, then we'll try again after drive. For some reason it goes through, it's very temperamental, that computer. Some days it decides, okay, yeah, I'll let you do whatever you want to do, and then some days it's like, no, it's alright, not today. Christmas bird count. Okay, is that worldwide? Thanks, Dr. Rita. Apparently there's a Christmas bird count. Oh. Oh, Audubon. Okay, Audubon. So that's North American. And also saying it's invaluable for knowing where the birds are seen. Gives you an idea of the numbers as well. I think the UK do something similar in summer as well. I seem to recall something along those lines. There was a butterfly census a couple of weeks back, but we didn't realise there was a butterfly census until it was actually upon us. But I was looking out for butterflies and we only saw like 2, I think. Okay, where do I want to go? I still can't check by the rooms. Let's just try Mvubu Road. You never know. It might just be that they've come this way. That's what happened yesterday. Again, Linda, wanting to know what road I said was cutting across towards Buffelshoek. I don't know if it was Buffelshoek Cut Line I was talking about that divides Western Gowrie and Buffelshoek. But I don't think there's actually one that runs and cuts into Buffelshoek. Two purple flowers a little bit. Ipomeas. Just pull this side. You see them there? There'll be quite a large bulb underneath the ground. The beautiful trumpet flowers. And there are some species that would have been used to gain moisture from the bulb. Lots of different types of Ipomeas, morning glories. But Luciana, I think this one is. Just checking my little flower book here. I'm seeing crassipes. Yeah, it could be. But I'm just looking in my book and that just looks closer to it. I'm just going to have a look at the leaf. Got a bit of a dogfight going on up there. Rhoda's not happy with One of the eagles. Ah, I saw what it was. I don't think you guys would have been able to see it. Gymnogene. I'm not happy with the Gymnogene. African Harrier Hawk. They're not happy. Yeah, it looks like it is the Chrysopice. Just looking at the leaf structure. The Bolsiano is quite long, thin leaves, not hairy. Here, kitty, kitty, kitties. Roger. Good morning to you. And this is what I was trying to explain to you guys a little bit earlier when I was pointing out the map. There are some things that aren't marked on the map, like Chelapan. And Elephant School is actually marked wrong, it's actually the one below. So I don't actually know why. Oh yeah? Oh, okay, that's Hippo Pools Road. Hippo Pools. That's the one. Hippo Pools Road, yeah. So there's a road that runs from Guaripan itself to Buffelshoek Dam. So that one, if it's not, it's on some maps and it's not on others. I think the one that we've got now actually has it on there, because I think that's the one that I've got. This one that was printed out, I think, is a very, very old one. Could be that road wasn't made until someone made it. It was made after this was printed. Chelapan also, I think Chelapan was probably just a small mud wallow that just happened to, over the years, become much larger. And that's how these temporary pans get formed in the first place. It could be a small puddle, for example, and that puddle maybe has movement from frogs in it, and maybe it stirs it up a little bit and it starts getting a little bit deeper, and then maybe a warthog comes to use it to drink from and it puts its feet in and it starts getting a little bit more muddy. maybe a little dacre may come and drink from it as well. And, you know, maybe even a cat, if it's not too muddy. It starts to get used, and so the banks start to get a little bit wider, and so the mud starts getting mixed up into the water, and it starts getting a little bit more muddy, and then eventually it becomes a little bit larger, and large enough to maybe take a warthog rolling in it. So the warthog starts to roll in it, makes it really nice and muddy. So every time the rain falls, it gets deeper, the banks get wider, and then eventually you might get a buffalo wiping its head in it. And as the buffalo you've seen down at Treehouse Dam recently, the buffalo actually wiping their horns and their head in it, so that's going to even make it deeper and wider. Rhinos also using the horn to loosen the mud off a little bit, and eventually you get what was a puddle forming a pan. These natural pans form through movements of animals and usage. Your flower's still not opened yet, Mark. Apparently this one's supposed to come out yellow. What do you call it? Is it a, did you say it was a hypoxis? Possibly a hypoxis. Should keep an eye on it. Hopefully it won't get eaten when it flowers. Okay. Okay, Gallego shortcut, here we come. Nothing from the cubs. I bet they're going to be Mark's side. We'll try quarantine. What time have we got? 20 minutes. Actually, I've also been sent the Little Rhino's poem. If you guys were watching Fireside Chat the other night, and Ari mentioned not the poem, the prayer, Little Rhino's prayer, I have been sent it, so I will make that available to everybody. It's probably going to end up on a blog. It's quite a long one, and I'll probably put it on the Rhino. I'll put it on the Rhino. No, I thought you were saying something. Ephraim, come in. Ephraim, come in. Sorry, Ephraim, what have you got? Okay, copy, thank you. Inconyenis, little cub, up towards cruise camp, apparently. Little leopard cub. over there somewhere. We're on Buffelshoek Cut Line again. We went up at Ruby Road, we're on Buffelshoek Cut Line. We're going to take Gallego shortcut. Gallego shortcut that way. Hi, Donna. Thanks, Donna. Apparently, Donna's saying Donna and her class joined us last Friday, and she was actually teaching them about African animals, and she was showing them soft toys, and she was actually asking the kiddies, you know, where did these animals come from? And one of her classes, most of the kids said no, Africa. Some kids said the zoo, but apparently her afternoon class all said the zoo, bar one or two. But quite interesting though. And apparently the parents came to join us on. I suppose we could call it scat, but I don't know. Scat just sounds wrong to me. I don't know why. I mean, if you look at a piece of rhino dung, I mean, call it rhino scat. Cat scat, yeah, cat like carnivore scat. But reserve. We need a lot of rain to get the drainage lines, and they are the drainage lines. So when we talk about a drainage line, that is because they're not really. You can't really call it a stream as such because it's not flowing all the time. But the Milwati is the biggest one. It's all the tributaries into the Milwati, and when the rains really fall heavy, then it does start to flow, and it only flows maybe about that deep in some areas, but it does flow, and all of these areas, so this will fill with water at some stage. Not much, there'll just be a little bit going through here, going through there, and that will eventually go into the Milwati. Hence why when it does rain we can't really go off-road that much either, because you're going to get stuck, and you're going to get stuck badly. Quarantine, here we come. Not even any dung beetles to play with. That's just rude. And actually it's not a rude word, because otherwise you'd have to call a dung beetle something else, a scat beetle. I can't call a dung beetle a scat beetle. Morning.
Morning.
How are you doing? Good, thanks. How are you? Oh, is he? Oh, fantastic. With all the orangutans. Oh, brilliant. It's still Wild Earth, wildearth.tv or Juma.com. Yeah, .tv. Yeah. Or Juma.com. Yeah, it's also on the player there. Yeah. So yeah. Unfortunately, I've not seen too much. We've done a lot of birds this morning, but not. Oh yes, I think we also saw it was being mobbed by a few. I think the rollers. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, really? Oh, the nesting there. Oh, fantastic. So, was the Mbisi Kaya active? Was it? Okay, well, we'll see if we can have a look. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, we'll see if we can make a way. Oh, okay. Well, we'll have a look at that then. Yeah, well, we did hear monkeys calling down by Voyatel Lodge, but there's somebody sleeping in there, so we couldn't go down and have a look. But I think Karula's cubs are somewhere in there. Yeah, so... Alrighty.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so, hey. Very much so. You know she's got a Facebook page, hey? Yeah, she's got a Facebook page.
Just under Karula.
Under Karula, yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
Enjoy your drive.
Take care. Okay, it doesn't sound like they've had much in the way of large things, but nice small things. And that's you know what's quite nice about days when it's a little bit quiet. You can do a little bit more birding and trees and plants and things like that, and then when the animals come back you get to see big animals. And that's the beauty about what we do. Every day is different. Every day there is something to see. I don't think this wind's helping. I think the animals are keeping into the thick of the bush again. The air's going to be slightly warmer in there. The trees are going to trap the slightly warmer air. It's going to be a little bit more sheltered, because animals don't like wind blowing all around their ears. I've actually seen rhinos get so skittish because of strong wind, and I've seen them run from one plane to another, or one side of the plane to the other, to just literally to get away from the wind. They got such a big fright because the wind was just so strong, and it was just this way and that, and they were bouncing around, and they really got quite upset. As soon as they got to the sheltered part, they were fine again. We shall see, maybe we can end up there. I wasn't expecting the hyenas to be out still, to be honest. Maybe they are. Oh, is it beeping? Oh, for a while. 5 minutes. Okay, well we're just about there at the den now, so we've only got 5 minutes of drive left. wondering if any of the flowers we've been seeing over the last few days are edible to humans for teas and things like that. Not to my knowledge, but then again, I don't know about the other ones that you've been seeing. I'm just trying to think. There's not really many, if I can think offhand, that are. Water lilies you can. We haven't really been seeing water lilies. Resurrection bush we don't get here, but resurrection bush, amazing little plant. You get it usually in very rocky areas, and that you can use to spice tea. And those plants, they maybe grow about this tall, but they have an amazing ability to really lock away moisture and nutrients, and they can survive very harsh environments. And they actually can look like they're dead. And then as soon as the first rains hit, they come alive again, and it's really quite something to see. Hence the name Resurrection Bush. Oops, thought I missed that one. Hello, bee eaters. Bye, bee eaters. Great, we're seeing the European bee eaters a lot more down this road than what we did last year. We'll find an elephant at the end here now. It's usually the way. We're looking for them all in the east. Sorry, Mr. Impala. We saw you quite nicely this morning. Well, representatives, not you in particular. Climbing. Maybe we won't have rain. See, now that wind's picked up, it's actually gone a little bit cooler again, so I've put my jacket back on. Oh, and I did do some research on parasites. There's some very dodgy ones out there. Luckily we don't have one that will come out the end of your foot. I think they've actually wiped it out in most countries. There's only 3 countries it's now found in, and that's more in the tropical area of Africa. That you pick up, it's a nematode type of worm, and that you pick up from water. You have to be in the water to ingest it. It comes out at the end of your foot. You get a burning sensation. So I'm thinking these hyenas are probably not here now. Oh, there they are. Hello, lady. Not the best place for us to see you. Can you see her there? They were talking about some bee eaters using a hole somewhere around here. So I'll have to keep a lookout for that. Not too much happening with the hyenas. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye though, because the inverter is beeping. Nice just to check in on them. As I say, nice to do a bit of birding. A few trees and plants along the way. And thank you very much for your IDs. I'll add the Deirdre's Cuckoo. Apparently I am being allowed that one. I'm very impressed though, because I say there was only one call from it. But hopefully if the sun burns through the cloud, we might get a slightly sunnier drive this afternoon. Here's hoping. As I say, she doesn't like she's going to move anytime soon. But thanks Seb for your camera work this morning, trying to get the birds. They're not the easiest of things to catch on camera, so always good. Especially when you have birds that do help you out. But thanks also to Mark in Farm Control for sending through the answers, and thank you for everybody who sent through the questions this morning as well. It's always great to hear from you. My name's Tara, and you've been joining the Wild Earth and Djuma live drives here at Sabi Sands at Djuma Game Reserve. So take care and do join us again this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Bye for now.
Hi, everybody.